Hi, James. Can you give us and sum up some of the points that the Prime Minister Najib Razak had just talked about?
Thanks very much, Clint. First of all, as we said, and as you said there, he purposely did not use that word hijacking to apply it to the investigation as it stands. I looked into more legal definitions on this. It's when, according to the Hague Convention of 1970, the unlawful seizure of an aircraft states that if that plane took off or landed in a country other than it was registered to do so, that could constitute as such. Also, the nature of the hijackings for aircraft tends to be when the passengers are leveraged as hostages for either ransom money for a political cause, for the release of, say, for example, members of the same political movement. No demands have been met. There's been no indication of any demands or any group so far that has done that. So that also, I think, left that slight sliver of a window open that the Prime Minister took. I think it also goes to show that he was very, very careful in not necessarily going to one conclusion. But I think that if he doesn't leave open those possibilities in a more definitive, and if he doesn't really sort of step up to that, I think all the other media will do that. Let's look again at that northern corridor. It's a very, very important trade route. It goes all the way from Thailand through countries like Laos, through Myanmar, and it goes up to a region which is going to be very interesting. We were just talking over there with some people, and this is where it gets very interesting, the Central Asian region. So beyond Nepal, you're talking about countries like Kazakhstan, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, and these areas, of course, are very close to others, including China. So I think those will be the two standout points from that statement. He did not take any questions, and we wonder what more will he choose to add come 5:30. But he did also say, as we heard there in that slot, that that the passenger manifest is going to be reviewed. I met with the Defence Minister's staff very late last night at about 10:30 p.m. I asked them, did you go through every single person on this list? Have you ruled out every possibility? And they said, as far as the Chinese passengers were concerned, the Public Security Bureau sent over 153 profiles like that. Not a single problem. Nor were the two men who were found to be Iranian economic migrants. Allegedly, let's just say, let's leave that open. There was no problems with them as well. So I think the fact they're going to go back to that manifest, and I think they should also go back to that crew, will be very interesting to see where that now leads, that second phase of investigation he talked about there.
Now, James, this news conference with the Prime Minister is far from closing the book on this very strange disappearance of this plane. What are some of the other steps that are expected to happen at this point?
I think obviously we're talking about a new ball game over here, in the sense that so far the investigation has been concentrated off the coast, for example, of China, very lately of India, and also of Vietnam, of course, where that plane was seen to be entering at that last known point of contact. Now we're talking about that southern corridor. So we're talking about Indonesia and into the Indian Ocean over there. And then again, let's go back to that northern corridor. We're dealing with a number of countries there. Very difficult terrain to navigate for search teams, particularly because of the high altitudes and the very mountainous nature of the region. And also you're talking about a lot of new republics and countries that may not have that tradition of working in international partnerships. It's going to have to politically reach out to them. It's going to have to go back to the drawing board. It's going to have to consult its legal teams and say how they're going to try and persuade those countries not only to join them in this search, but also to allow them into those areas.
James Chow reporting to us there from Kuala Lumpur. Thank you. And for more on the situation with the families of the passengers, we're going to go now to the hotel here in Beijing, and we're going to talk to our reporter Sue Yuting. She's there. Hello, Sue. Yuting, how are the families of these passengers? How are they reacting to the Malaysian Prime Minister's news conference?
Yes, I can sense the frustration and confusion among the family members after they watched the live broadcast of Malaysian Prime Minister's briefing to the relatives as well as to the media. The Malaysian Prime Minister mentioned that he has not ruled out the possibility that the missing plane had been hijacked, and he said that the investigation on that issue is still underway. So there is still no further details on that issue, and everyone is keeping a close eye on that. And the Prime Minister also mentioned that the MH370 has lost the contact with the ground controller around at 8:11 a.m. So previously, the Malaysian airline said that the plane has lost the control around 1:30, and the military air controller has detected an unidentified flying object at 2:40 at the Malacca Strait when the plane went missing. So there are lots of verified and complicated and also conflicting issues on that situation, and there is lots of information that the relatives and family members cannot tell from each other. So at this very critical time, the family members, I can sense that at one point they're furious, and because they think the Malaysian government haven't provided them the information in a timely manner. And on the other point, I see that some of the family members, they are still hoping that the relatives still remain alive, because if the plane had been hijacked, there is still a remain of the slightest glimmer of hope. So we will keep you updated on the latest situation there. Back to you.
Was there a feeling among any of the family members that in fact this plane was hijacked, as opposed to the Malaysian Prime Minister basically downplaying that idea? How was their reaction to the idea that this may in fact be a hijacking?
Yes, the family members, as I mentioned before, they're very furious and they are depressed at this very critical moment of time. And this is really a very critical and difficult time for them, because you know that there are some more information to be released by the Malaysian government. And the Malaysian Airlines, after that press conference, they say that because of the nature of the changing and complicated situation, they will just transfer the information from the Malaysian government, and so those kind of information will be officially released by the Malaysian government later. So at this point, the Malaysian airline said they are just trying their best to provide the family members with travel facilities, accommodation, meal, food, and other emotional support. And some of the caregivers and supporters are here to support the family members and the relatives here. So we are just hoping the situation will just go better in the future.
Su Yu Ting reporting to us from the Lido Hotel here in Beijing. Thank you.